if you guys were to consider how important it is to small businesses when you support them, that and how much that changes their day and how much that will change their week and month, I feel like more people wouldn't go to the cheapest box store.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
I'm going to talk about supporting local during the holidays, but I like to talk about supporting local all the time. Doesn't matter too much to me. I think it's important. It's an important topic, and it's especially at this time of year to express how important it is to support local, especially for local businesses. But it's something that I feel like a lot of people don't realize how important it is, or don't consider how important it is. But I mean, I also feel like it's growing as well. We have a growing community of people that understand the importance of supporting local. We don't just randomly grab products and be like, hey, maybe they'll buy this. We do quite a bit of research around products. If they're going to work, if they're valuable, we test them. And for me, it's important for us to know that there's a product that we're going to use ourselves, that we can recommend to family and friends that they'll use, and that can make a difference in their health. And then lastly, is there a need for information on the market? And when we were doing research around Mag Body Butter, not unlike any other product, is that there's tons of horrible ingredients in most of what we found. I don't know why. I don't know why they have to put chemicals. I'm guessing it's a preservative. I don't know why they have to put we use a food grade 100% natural essential oil. Why do they have to use fragrance? Because it's cheaper to produce. That really bothers me, because people don't know any better. Most people just think it's like all products are the same, and most people gauge when they purchase on price. And it really bothers me. I got to tell you, I sat down and we had tea with one of my first clients. I think I don't know exactly how old she is now. She's about 80 years old, and amazing. She's an amazing person. And she went and bought. She buys some of our products, but we don't expect everyone to buy all of our products or just buy from it. So she went to a health food store and she went and bought a product that was recommended by I think it was by her doctor. I'm not gonna tell you where it was purchased or what the product was, but so she went and she bought out a product, and then she brought that product to, I believe, a naturopath, and the naturopath she went to the health food store. The health food store worker or owner, I don't know, whoever it was, said you should buy this product, and that product was 3 times the amount of a regular product. And the naturopath looked through it and was like, no, you shouldn't use this product. It has all kinds of junk in it. And she was so heartbroken. I felt so bad for her. She said, how do I know? I don't know. I just took the recommendation. And of course she was upset because she felt like she got ripped off. And that's the problem with supplements. She said, I thought when you go to a health food store, it's all healthy products. And I said, I thought the same thing when I was getting into the health food industry, that we got to get our products in health food stores. These are the healthiest places to go. And then when we got our products in health food stores, and I was reading ingredients, and I was paying attention to what they were putting in there and how they're marketing, how they're selling. And health food stores, to be quite honest with you, most of them, I think you can find good quality health food stores. But for the majority of it, the health food stores are no different than grocery stores. Grocery stores are built on shelf life, mass production, and margins. So the better margins they get, the more they're willing to carry your product. So in health food stores, for the most part, are no different. So when you go to a health food store and you look at all the ingredients, you're like, what is happening in this world? But you have to understand that's not what they're built on. They're built on making money. So I felt so bad for her because she went and spent a bunch of money on a really low quality product that was overpriced and it had toxins in it. And I was like, I said, well, that's why we're in the industry, to be 100% honest with you. That's why we started with our protein, because you look at protein supplements and they're full of junk, like full of toxins. The protein industry is oversaturated with low quality products filled with toxic substances. That's all there is to it, much like grocery stores. But then I was looking at other supplements and, oh my gosh, like that. I mean, the very purpose, the very reason is so we can produce clean products with clean ingredients at a reasonable price. Now, of course, you have to look at price. So if you look at different supplement, like why is the dollar store selling supplements? If you're looking at dollar store supplements compared to a product that's 100% clean and has all clean ingredients, those are very different products. They're not even the same product, even if they have the same name. So when I say reasonable price, you have to understand if someone's looking at the very lowest quality, that's probably not even the same product as what we have. But when we sell a pure product with clean ingredients, we still price that. Like our body butter, for example, our body butter is $49.99. For ounce per ounce, we saw the same product sold for $149. $149. The average was $75 for a body butter for our size. And I said, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, of course, our margin, of course we'd make more money if we put ours up to $79 or $89. I just didn't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable trying to sell a product at that rate. I just thought it was too high of a price. We sell ours at $49.99, which is at the lower end, which I don't really like. I don't want to be at the bottom of the list, because then you got to start competing with places like Amazon and Walmart, like those people that have really low quality products. They just work on mass production. If they're selling a product and they're making $2 on it, but they have 1 million retail stores, of course their margins are huge. But when you're looking at a small company that's moving 1,000 units, 1,000 units a month, whatever it is, you're making a very small amount of money. And then we look at, we have glass containers, we have metal lids. Then you look at these cheap companies with cheap products that use all plastic. So at any rate, that's what we're dealing with, and that's how it works. But anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you. When any of our people say, hey, I really love your new product, or I'm finding results with your products, like, it means the world to us, because we put in a lot of time and effort, because we want to offer our products at a decent price. And that's a reasonable price at a fair price, and that's all there is to it. I was just saying that we really appreciate when we get that positive feedback, because we put in so much time and effort into our products. It's not like we have a team. We had Dorothy's a young living rep, so we were actually driving from LA to Calgary, or the Olds, and we stopped in at the head office. We stopped in at their head office, and it was beautiful. It was brand new built. This was a couple years ago, and it was probably built a few years before that. At any rate, just like state-of-the-art type of building, like big, like glass windows, plants, waterfalls. And then we walked by like a boardroom, and it was all clear glass. And I don't know what it was for sure, but it looked like a marketing meeting. And there was about 20, 25 people sitting around this table. Of course, this is a multi-million-dollar company, been around for 30 some years, and it's a big company. But there's about 25 people, and I've never been in the corporate world, never had a corporate job, never sat in an office, never wore a suit and tie. I've always been. Most of you would probably know I was an athlete, played professional baseball, traveled the world after university, and then I started my own business. That's as much as I know about business. I didn't go to school for it, didn't know anything. At any rate, I was walking by this, I don't know, I feel like a little bit emotional. I was walking by, and I saw like this huge room, like a big room where there's like 25 people sitting around this big desk. And I was guessing that, or maybe, I don't know, maybe Dorothy said it was like they were doing, they had a new catalog coming out or something. But anyways, I think it was a marketing meeting. And I thought like when we develop products, it's us. Like I'm researching it, I'm testing, we're ordering products, we're ordering ingredients. We try all the products for months before we use them. And I just thought, my gosh, like what would it be like if you have a team of like, I'd take a team of 2 or 3. But if you had a team of like 10, 20, 30 people like developing products and helping with prices and sourcing, I'm always like, oh my gosh, that would be a dream come true. We're working there. You know what? One of my driving forces is that I really like to employ people, and I don't know how to explain that any better. I like to pay. I like to give people the opportunity to earn a wage. That makes me feel good. And we have a few part-time workers, and that come into our shipping house, and we're able to, at this point, like, we're able to afford to pay people, which is really nice. Because before, like, of course, when I was starting out, I could barely afford to pay myself, and now we can afford to pay other people, and that's a driving force. I feel like the bigger our company gets, the more outreach we can create, the more people we can help, the more people that we can employ, and that's really important, especially now, because a lot of people are struggling to keep their jobs or to have jobs, or, like, we know what it's like right now. The world is upside down, but I would really like to be able to be like, hey, come on over. I think there's some very qualified people that are looking for work, and I that kind of just like, I wish we were 5 years ahead, because in 5 years we'll have a handful of full-time employees, but at the moment we can afford to help people help us at a part-time level. But that's really a driving force for me to be like, okay, like, we can afford to pay some people at this time, and a lot of people need that help. So that really makes me feel good to be able to do that. But at any rate, as we move forward and grow as a business, we're excited to be able to do that and help other people out. But I just wanted to talk about the importance of supporting local for a minute here, because I think it's a really good time to do that. And I want to let you know that it's so important, like, for you, if you go into, so at least around town here, not around town, but around this area, there's a lot of those, I call them artesian, I think they're called artisan shops. There's a lot of these artisan shops popping up. And when you, as someone that develops products, when you put your product in front of an audience and you have the ability to sell your products, it makes such a big difference when you get a sale or two. When you get 1 or 2 sales, when you get 3 or 4 sales, it really does. It changes someone's entire day. Like, when we're super fortunate in the position we're in now, we get orders every day. But we were at a place where we used to be at a place where we got an order once a week if we were lucky. And don't get me wrong, I had a job, like, I was doing personal training, I was doing fitness classes. But when it came to products, we rarely got. I didn't know how to sell products. I didn't know how to market products. And it took time. It took me time and effort to figure that out, and it took a lot of time to research and learn, and a lot of failure. But now we sell products on a regular basis. But we understand that there's people out there that don't sell very often. So when someone gets a sale, like, it could be handmade piece of wood, like the wood created into art. I'm thinking about this. There's an artisan shop here, right here. I wish I knew the name. Wild Rose something. I can almost see it from my house. I should know. We just went in there recently, and I just thought, like, I just think about from the business end or from the support end, like, all these businesses or all these people trying to run a business, trying to feed themselves, their families. And if you go and buy one thing, I know some people can't afford to go buy all your products. And I know I know that sometimes the price is a bit more. If you're looking at handmade soap, for example, the soap from someone that's hand making it at home is probably $5 or $6. And then you can go buy Dove at the pharmacy, which is jam-packed full of toxins, for a couple bucks, a couple dollars. So then you have to balance that, right? That some people can afford. But what I'm saying is, if you go and buy one thing, if you go to one of those little artisan shops, or you go to a local farmer, if you go to someone that you know that sells honey, someone that does woodwork, that will change their day. It will change their entire day, one sale. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand how important it is that you can change someone's day positively by simply buying something. And I'm not talking about for myself. Like, I'm not trying to talk you into buying our products. All I'm saying is that if you guys were to consider how important it is to small businesses when you support them, and how much that changes their day and how much that will change their week and month, I feel like more people would. I feel like more people wouldn't go to the cheapest box store, especially that blue one at the end of town that I can't stand. They won't sell any local products. That's just not their model, they say. So, or if you go to, like, Co-op has a big supporting local section. If you go to more of those shops, see, when we're in retail store, we aren't in retail store anymore. I don't feel like I want to go back at this time. But when you're in a retail store, they decide if they're going to carry your products by the customers voting. So we used to have CTP and health food stores. When I say retail stores, it's no different than when I say retail stores, no different. Like, I'm just talking about shelf space. So we were in 30 some retail stores all across Canada, and I was trying to manage that myself and banging my head against the wall, trying to figure out how to make that work until I finally realized that was a bad idea. But at any rate, if we put our our minimum purchase was 12 units for wholesale price. They put 12 units on their shelf. If a customer didn't come in and purchase those products, then they wouldn't put in a reorder for us to sell more product. You see what I'm saying? So, and then if that product would sit there too long on the shelf, they would discontinue selling our product. They might discount it. I might call and be like, hey, are you guys selling our product? They'd say, no, actually, we're removing your product from our shelves. So that's why I say you vote. Like, you get a vote every time you go to the grocery store, every time you decide what store you purchase at. It always all makes a difference. If you're going to the mall and buying all your products, all your presents, that's entirely different than going to farmers markets or small markets or going to those artisan shops. And I'm not saying you have to. You guys, anyone can do whatever they want. Of course, it's your choice. It's your money. I'm just trying to explain how important it is to those people that are trying to make a living by supporting local and by other people going in and being like, hey, I want to buy these products that are local because I want to support local people. I don't really have too much else to say. I just wanted to share. I wanted to share with you guys the importance of supporting local and let you know that we all have a choice. And that's just how it goes. I suppose that's the bottom line, is that we can decide where we're going to purchase and who we're going to purchase from. And I feel like if more people, it reminds me of books, like we're writing a book. When you write a book, there's not a whole lot of margin. Like, you don't get paid. You don't get paid millions for writing a book. In most cases, it's a free marketing material. A lot of people will lose money on books, and they do it because it's exciting. They want to share their knowledge in a book because it creates authority, because it helps them be more of a expert in their field. Like, hey, I've written my own book. But in most cases, you don't make money out. You'll see a lot of authors that will say, this book is free. All you have to do is pay shipping. Of course, they mark it up. So shipping is like $25 for a book, right? So they'll make a little bit on it. You're paying for some of their book and for some of the shipping, but there's very small margin. So then you have people like, and then people like, it takes you a couple of years to write a book. And then people don't want to pay $20 for a book. And then they don't want to pay shipping. Oh, I got to pay shipping on top of that. And then, but the author isn't making any money. I'm telling you, we've got 3 books, couple mini recipe books, and then I co-authored a book. So I know what it's like to produce a book, and I know what the margins are like. So I guess all I'm saying is that it's much different. Like, I think people have a different perspective. And if everyone were to go and try to write a book, I try to buy books from people that I know have written books. Like, if I know authors, then I will buy one of their books, simply because I know how exciting it is to sell a book, even if you're not making money on it. But that's not why that's what I'm trying to say, is that's not why you're writing a book. You don't write a book for financial gain. You write a book for other purposes, for other reasons. And so what I'm saying is that I feel like if everyone were to go and write a book, they would have more appreciation for books, how much time and effort people put in to write books. And then you wouldn't see them for 25 cents at the library when they do blowouts, or those little tiny shops that are like those. I really like the book. I feel like there's so few people that use them, but I really like those houses that sit on the corner, those little tiny like birdhouse looking things that you put books in. Give a book, take a book. But most of the ones that I see are like jam packed with books. People are like, want to get rid of their books, don't really know what to do with them. I rarely see people go in and like trade a book or take a book. Only time we have one like right on the corner. I can almost see it. I mostly see people like stuffing books in them. And I think that's because most people don't appreciate the time and effort it takes. Like, that book took someone hours and endless hours, months, and editing and designing. But what I'm getting at here is it's the same as a business. If you know what it's like to create something with your own hands, if you know all the time and effort and the research and the anguish, what's a tough one? And the frustration it takes and how challenging it is to actually design a product, bring it to market. And on top of that, you have people that would rather go and buy something for 25 cents instead of $4 that you put your time and effort in. So, but I feel like that's changing. I really do. I feel like that's changing on a deep level, on a cellular level of globally, if you will. I feel like more people are considering, because the thing is, like, we had all those ships backed up. They're still backed up. You had all those ships from China and the other side of the world. They're backed up. We were in LA. We have a place in LA, and you could see them. We can see the ocean from our place, and you can see the ships lined up. It's not a joke. It's not a fabrication. There were hundreds of ships lined up all across the ocean trying to get into the ports. And those are all products coming, like, those are, in most cases, those are cheap quality products coming from other parts of the world instead of And then people are like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to go to my favorite box store. I can't go to the mall. And I'm like, of course I have a different, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, don't let those products in. But I know that's a crazy mindset, but that's how I feel. Like, that's what I think, is that if we stopped allowing so much products to come in, I know there's so many different ways to think about it. Then there's be less stuff at the retail stores. Then the retail stores are going to make less money. Then there's less, maybe there's less jobs, but I don't see it that way. I feel like there's more abundance. Then people are almost forced to go and support local. People will, oh, there's nothing at that big box store. I got to go to an artisan shop. So I think there's benefits to this kind of stuff, but most people are like in panic and like, what are we going to do? But like everywhere is full of these cheap products you could look at, like Walmart, Costco, all these are jam-packed of cheap products. I am calling everyone out. Canadian Tire, Lowe's, Shoppers. Go down the aisle and just read some where some of these products are from. And I'm not saying don't ever go there. Like, I'm not saying don't ever go and buy products at these places. Some of these places have things you can't buy anywhere else. They have things that aren't made anywhere else. If a product is good quality and it's made on the other side of the world, like we have products that aren't made here. Like, obviously we're not growing coconuts in Canada. So we have to go somewhere like where they grow coconuts, like in Sri Lanka. So we have to import products. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like there's a bit of an issue when you're going to buy all your presents, or people are like, oh, stuff is just cheap on Amazon. It comes in a day or two. And I'm like, there's someone like your neighbor that you go grocery shopping with, that maybe you go to church with, that you share a gymnastics club with, that you go grocery shopping with. You have a neighbor very close that is working really hard to bring a product or service, and that's not considered. The most of the consideration is, how cheap is it? Can I go get it at a box store? Can I all get it at one place? Because then I don't have to go to different places. So if we were to consider supporting more local, more neighbors, more friends, I think we would all be better off, and we'd have a stronger economy because of it. We'd have less stores shutting down in small towns. We'd have less. Like in small towns, you have to drive. A lot of times you have to drive to bigger centers to get those products. But if we were to support local from the inside out, from the core, if you were to try to exhaust every single option within your town first, and if they don't, and I'm a big fan of quality, and I'm a big fan of customer service. So if you can't find it in your town or city, then go somewhere else. But I feel like a lot of people just out of convenience go and buy something cheap and convenient and don't think about anything else. And meanwhile, you could be considering a bunch of other things behind the scenes. I'm not going to try to sell our products to you right now, because I didn't want this whole show to make it sound like everything was leading up to support our local business. That wasn't my goal for the show. My goal for the show was to help you understand that if you go other places, like if you have the ability to go talk to local farmers, local woodworking people, artisans, if you have a neighbor that can fix your fix your sink, and you could pay them or you could trade them, ask your neighbor. They'll appreciate that, instead of calling someone from the city or going to the biggest chain and for the best price. Like, that is just my opinion. That's how we do things. That's how we live. We so much appreciate local support. We wouldn't be able to run our business without local support. Most of our orders come through pickups. We have a growing community of people that are ordering from outside of our area, which we're super grateful for. But I think in smaller towns, it's more apparent for local support. In bigger cities, it's less. We know that. I grew up in Calgary and spent half the year in Los Angeles, and I know it's a bit more challenging to support local and easier to go to those giant box stores that import all of their products. But I know some people are also making that effort too. So we appreciate you guys making that effort with us, and we appreciate your support. And when you go and support those small businesses, they appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I promise you that. And then the alternative is going to a box. I feel like it sounds like I'm completely against box stores. I'm not. It's not like I never go there or never go to them, although I really dislike them. But I'll go to those places if there's no other choice. If I can't find someone, or if I don't know anyone locally, I often ask friends, like, hey, do you know anyone that can make this? Do you know anyone that can do that? That's my biggest source. Or I ask on the buy and sells. So I'm not saying I never go to those places. I'm not telling you never to go there. All I'm saying is, like, there's much better options, especially during the holidays. Like, you can go and support a big box store that's basically a board that makes millions or billions, if you're looking at some of the ones I've already mentioned today. Or you could go, someone will never know, they'll never know who you are. You'll never sit with them at the grocery store. You don't sit at the grocery store. You'll never sit with them in church. You'll never wait in line with them in the grocery store. Your kids will never play together. That means more to me, supporting those people that you know that are in your community. That means more than supporting a board just to save a couple bucks. A board that makes millions of dollars, of people you'll never know, or more importantly, that will never know you. I'll tell you this before we go, before I let you go, is that we sat down, this is a few years ago, but we sat down with a marketing person. This is what she did full time. We sat down with her for 8 hours. We dissected our entire business. We pulled everything apart, tried to piece everything back together. And she said, I cannot believe she was doing this. I don't know how long she was doing it, years, 20, 30 years, whatever it was. She said, I've never sat down with two people that knew their customers better than you guys. We knew our customers' names. We know their customers' pets. We know their likes. Sometimes we know what they drive. That is not because of Facebook retargeting. That's because we get to know our people. Like, we have conversations. I just talked to someone today I said, hey, they just slipped on the ice and they're a bit rough shape. I said, hey, how you doing? Is everything okay? And they said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for checking in. And I'm like, some people like, oh, they just want a sale. And I'm like, I just want to be a human being. Like, ask someone how they're doing. Like, we're not about sales. We're about being human and contributing positively to society. And there's a lot of businesses out there that are trying to do that. And I want to share with you that I want you to reward those people. Sometimes you can do everything. You can do everything right. This is the crazy part of business. You can do everything right. We've had customers for a long time, months, years. You can do everything right. And then you say one thing on social media and they drop you like a bad habit. They don't want to support you anymore. You mix up one order and then, oh, done with that. Don't want to have conversations anymore. Don't want to. So be forgiving. Be forgiving and understand that people do the best that they can, especially when running a business. Understand that there's humans that in most cases are trying really hard to bring good quality products. And if you could support them and understand that those people appreciate you more than you'll ever know, I think that this world would be a much, much different place, and people wouldn't panic when they see ships lined up because we couldn't import products, because they know they would rather get products from their neighbors anyway. That's what I have to say. The heart of towns are businesses. They really are. Because if you have no businesses in a town, what do you have? Like, you just have residents. You don't have those gathering. Like, you don't have those communities gathering. You don't have like a gymnastics club. You don't have gyms to go to. You have, you don't have like people stopping talking grocery stores. Like, when we go to the grocery store in a small town, it's hard. You're hard pressed to not to see someone that you don't know. So you have a brief hey, how you doing? How are things going? That's really nice about a small town. And those are because of businesses. If you don't have businesses, all you have is residences, and you have that less of ability to be connected. So if you don't support the businesses, the local businesses, you lose the heart of the town. You lose the heartbeat, and then you're forced to go other places, and then you lose that community connection. But it starts with supporting the businesses that you have in your town. Otherwise, they disappear. You have to go somewhere else. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch up with you soon. Thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you guys are enjoying the holiday season. Take care for now.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is TrueFormLife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at TrueFormLife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.